Moyo kwatula mu indebe nikuola ye amalika nikuza silira bahomba nilira silira bao mugutina batasubira babiri zinabiti bemisambwa zingano zyosi alisamba momo
alisamba nomo.
So this is Alfred Coach Life. Today we are privileged to host the presidential debate for the Kenyan community living in Western Australia. We have Vincent Lusita, we have one Dennis Langat, and one Andrew Kachila. They're here to give us a quick update about themselves and what is their manifesto towards what we are going to give them an opportunity. What are they going to give us as leaders of the Kenyan community? I can see people. Can you get me? Are you hearing me loud and clear? Someone is saying there is no sound.
There was no sound.
Someone saying there is some sound, saying some sound, there is some sound. Can I get someone saying they are getting me loud and clear now? Can I get a comment? Someone saying you can hear me? Can I get someone? We can hear you now. Okay, thank you so much, Bishop Sakongai. So we are trying to get back one candidate, but we will continue as we wait for him to come. People, can you hear me, Lucita? Can you hear me, Dennis? Dennis?
Yes.
Are you able to remove your earphones, please?
Can you hear me?
Have you picked it up from the computer or something? Have you removed it? Pull it up? Yeah. Yes.
About now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Trying to bring back Andrew. There's some background noise, though. I don't know where from.
Yeah.
Andrew, can you hear me?
All right. I can hear you clearly.
Yes. But there's some background noise. I don't know where from, but it's okay. Can I get someone from whoever is watching, if they can hear us well, so that we can be able to continue? Before we continue, we can hear you. Bishop, kindly confirm if you can hear us well, if you can get everyone. So I'll give an opportunity to everyone to introduce themselves. I'll start from Lucite. As we all know that Kenyan community in Western Australia, we have more than 10,000 Kenyans living in Western Australia, and on this coming Sunday, we will be having elections, or this is an electioning weekend for the Kenyan community here in Western Australia. This is an opportunity for those who will be running for this occasion to showcase what they have today. They will tell us if they've been in leadership before, what they will be doing, and of course, what are the new things that they will be bringing in towards this community. They will also tell us if there is other avenues that they will be venturing into to bring the community together. We have also the Kenyans living in Australia at large. They will share with us if they will be able to reach out to those Kenyans in across the entire country, so that we can come together as Kenyans here. But of course, we will get to hear from them. I'll give an opportunity to each and every person here today to give us an introduction and, of course, continue with our questions. So, Lucite, I'll give you an opportunity to tell us who is Lucite, where did you went to school, and, of course, if there is any other thing that you would wish to put into that intro, will be really appreciated. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Alfred. Hi, Dennis. Hi, Andrew. Good morning, good evening, viewers. My name is Vincent Lucite. Kanyangi is my surname. I was born in a small village in Vihiga County a few decades ago. I went to school down there in a small school called Kaumbwa High. And
Hi, Lucite.
Yes, okay. I am married. I'm faithfully married to one wife. Got a few children. I have served in the Kenya Defense Forces for 13 years. I retired honorably, and I have done a few things in the Army. I was in the administration department. I had quite a few years in administration at the brigade level, and currently I'm just working in the community as a support worker, working with the disability persons in WA. And so we are here, and we are ready to serve our community. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for that quick and very profound introduction. I'll give an opportunity to Andrew to tell us who is Andrew, and of course, quite more about you. Karibu, Andrew. We can't hear you.
He will come up.
We can't hear you, Andrew. Dennis, I'll give you an opportunity as we try to fix Andrew.
Okay. So good evening and good evening, everyone. My name is Dennis Langat. I was born in Kericho County. Been in Australia for about 19 years now. I came here to do my master's in, my degree in IT and IS, so Information Technology and Information Systems, in Curtin University. I did my master's in business leadership, also from Curtin University. I finished that back in 2012. Dennis, I believe in community spirit. I've been involved in community work for most of my adult life in Australia. I was actually a student representative back in 2004. I'm married. I've got 2 kids, a boy and a girl, still at their young, tender age of 8 and 5. So, of course, school-going kids at the moment. So, yeah, there is a lot, I did send out a manifesto this morning just about some of the things that I done for the community. So I don't want to bore you into going too much into that again, because I believe most of you have gone through that. So I've worked in the different organizations, both public and private sector. At the moment, I work for the Department of Training as a systems engineer, senior systems engineer. I've worked for mining companies. I've worked for a marketing company. I run a business here as well. I run a disability company, so sort of managing disability clients. I've been involved in business both here in Kenya. So yeah, without going too much into the details, really, that's me really in a nutshell. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Can you get us now? Can't get you, Andrew. You might have to leave and then join back if that's okay. If possible, use your phone. Seems your computer got a problem. So, as Dennis, you've told us about your journey. Of course, you've mentioned about leadership part of it. So I'll give an opportunity to Vincent. Now, leadership. You're coming into becoming, wanting to be the president of the Kenyan community. You've told us about being serving in the forces. Have you been into any leadership position before, after school or before anything before now, trying to venture into this?
Oh, thank you, Alfred. My life in military, I rose in ranks and I held a few leadership positions. I was sometime a section commander, platoon sergeant, and that is in the military. I moved to Australia around 6 years ago. And in those years, I've been a leader in a local church here, Nema Church. I've been a leader in the men's department for around 3 years. I've led successfully. I just handed over to new team, I think 2 months ago. I have been I successfully started one of the people who started a welfare department in my church as well, and then I was the chairman for that welfare department for close to 1.5 years. And then I moved to just being a supportive officer in the welfare department, and I'm still holding that position up to now. I have participated in the community matters since I came here. I have been so active in the community matters, and right now I'm the treasurer of the Miwa community. That is the people in Western Australia. I'm the treasurer, and yeah, I have been so practical and passionate. If there's any function of the community function I've missed, I think there are very few. I can maybe count them, but I really am a passionate person about people and the community. And yeah, that's what I've looked at, and I've seen that there's a deficit in the leadership. And that's why I put my hand up, and a few people approached me that come up and lead, because they will see the potential in me because of how I have done before and how I carry myself in the society. So yeah, I'm here and I'm ready.
Wow, thank you so much. It seems you've been into quite an eventful year in on matters of leadership. Dennis, would you want to just to give us a quick one in regards to leadership? And of course, Lucita also mentioned that he's been into the position of being the treasurer on matters welfare in a church that he goes to. So after Dennis, of course, you can tell us if you've been into leadership position, and of course answer us or give us an opportunity also to get to know the welfare of the Kenyan community in Western Australia. What will you do as a leader or as a president in regards to the welfare of the Kenyan community? And of course, I'll also pass that to Lucita, once Dennis finishes, what will you do for the welfare of the Kenyan community? You know, we have a long journey in regards to welfare. We have events like, you know, eventualities might happen, but we actually don't have a structure at the moment that gathers for the Kenyan community. So I'll also give you an opportunity to give us that, and of course, also give us what will you do to bring on board all the Kenyans. We have more than 10,000 Kenyans in Western Australia, but if you see the membership of the community that we brought ourselves in, we only are around 200 to 300 people who are fully registered. So also you will come to tell us all about. So Dennis.
Yes, so about leadership, as I mentioned, I've been in leadership position since basically my arrival in Australia. As I mentioned, back in 2004, I was a student leader during Steve Kuria term as president of the Kenyan community. In the recent past, I was the inaugural chair of the KCWA group, which is for people from North and South Rift in Kenya. Mainly, so I was the president of that. You talked about the welfare for the community. Successfully, myself and my team, we set up as a welfare group, which is still going at the moment. For those that might know what's happening in the KCWA group. So the way the welfare group works at the moment, it's getting improved day by day, is that because what happens is insurance companies don't generally cover us for matters that are outside the country. So basically, if you lose somebody back home, no insurance company will cover you for the cost of flights and things like that, right? So insurance companies will cover you for, you know, health insurance, death, life insurance, you know, those kind of insurance, which, by the way, people can actually take advantage of paying that through their super, which basically there's no out of pocket. As you know, super is money that you access when you get to 65. So because of that, and because of the necessity that, you know, at that point we felt there was a feeling in the community that when somebody sort of is bereaved back home, some people were getting sort of more contributions than others. So this welfare group that we set up sort of helped to not only even out the field, but more to at least make sure that somebody gets a flight back home. So the way it works is if you're a member of this welfare group, you get paid flight ticket money, which is 2,500. Yep. No questions asked. So if you're bereaved like today, by evening, you get that money. And then, so there is always strength in numbers. So the more people you have, the less, because then what happens is when you pay out this person, then you got to contribute back the amount. So the 2,500 has to be paid back.
So in a quick one, how would you be able to reach out in matters welfare? What is your game plan for that?
So my game plan is, look, I think I did see Master Andrew's video yesterday saying there are some things that we are doing and we do not need to reinvent the wheel. I totally agree with that. So as I mentioned, I was involved in setting up this welfare group. I think I've actually reached out to some other communities, I believe the newer group as well, to sort of, you know, give them an idea on how to set this group up. So there is already a template to do that. We do not need to reinvent it. It's something that can be set up within, you know, a few weeks. The trick to that, though, is we need people to be committed to be part of this group, because without the commitment, then basically we don't have the members to form the group.
Talking about commitment and talking about the will of the people, you know, we are 10,000. Quick one, how would you be able to bring these people in?
So, you know, one of the main reasons why the tech companies like Facebook have gotten to where they are, it's not necessarily because they sell products, but the product is yourself. So basically, you get access to Facebook for free, right? What we need in the Kenyan community is actually to have a membership that is free for all Kenyans, regardless of who you are. So the fact that you are Kenyan or a friend of Kenyan, then you become, when I say a friend of Kenyan, of course, if you're married to a Kenyan and things like that, then you become a member of the Kenyan community. The advantage of that is you would then have contacts for these people. So if you want to communicate with them, you want to sell ideas, like I'm talking about the welfare group. If you want to set up a community center, you have contacts to talk to these people. Currently, I believe we do not have these contacts. Certainly, we don't have contacts of the 10,000 Kenyans in Western Australia. So by having a free membership, not only does that enable you to collect data, it also enables those ones that cannot financially commit at the moment to actually be part of the community.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Finzen.
Yeah, thank you. First, I want to talk about the welfare, what I've done, then talk about going forward. The welfare that I was part of when we came up with the idea, it was about easing the burden from the members, the community members. So, because before it was that someone has a tragedy or lost someone, we come together as members, let's give out something so that someone can travel or send something at home, like monetary, of course.
Yeah.
So we sat down and with my team and thought, it's a bit of a burden. Like someone has been bereaved, so you have to come and maybe give $100. In the next 1 month or so, someone has been bereaved, you give another. So it was a bit of a burden. So we said, let's come together and do a contribution. And it was just a very minimal contributions. Then we said, let's do it for a certain period of time. We didn't give the timeline. We said, let's do it, and then we will stop at some stage. So we did it, and for 3 years, almost 3 years, and we had to stop because we had enough days, like to have where we can, if someone has lost a beloved, he needs to travel or to send something at home. Even before they call for friends to come and support, we give that person like $2,000.
That is
that
is where you
that
were.
Is what, that was where the welfare that we started. Now,
your plan for KCWA.
Yes, as the president of KCWA, there are so many avenues of coming up to ensure our people and ensure all of us, because we do not know what will happen to us or to our beloved people. So there are so many avenues to do that. We have first of all, we just want to encourage people, the members who are here, so that they have that national insurance at home, the NHIF. That is the first thing we do. We say that, can you have NHIF for your parents and your people at home? Make sure that they have that, because it's a basic thing, and it's the government scheme. So, and after having that, now we come and look at how can we have an affordable insurance, private insurance for our people. And we have so many, as I said, you have so many avenues. One of them is that we have we can have like a corporate thing that we go into insurance with a certain number of people. The way Dennis say that this is a game of numbers. Without numbers, the welfare will be a burden to the members. So that is the thing we have to make sure that we have the numbers, so that we can go, if we have to negotiate as a product from an insurance company back at home, we have a good number, so that the individuals here can contribute a very minimal amount, and then our parents or whoever you want to put in that scheme, they will have like a very affordable insurance, a private insurance, and yeah, that will be taken care of. If I talk about general welfare as the president, we do not. I'm not just going to focus on the bereavement or the calamities that will face us. I'm going to talk about the sickness of people right here. We're going to talk about the the students who are here. There's a welfare that will take care of the students. There's a welfare that talking about the families. So in my administration, if given that chance to be the president of KCWA, I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at forming a student welfare program that will be like a mentorship program, because our students need some mentorship. They need someone to mentor, especially the new students who are coming straight from home. They're landing here. They got nobody to look up to. They don't have any avenue, so they need someone to mentor them, show them this is how we do, this is how you go, we've all been through this, and then they're shown. We have the family welfare.
Thank you.
I'll go very quick.
Yeah.
We have a family, and the family has so many issues. There's so many matters in the family, and we need someone or a group of people who, when the family have issues within them, they can confidently go to someone and talk to, and then they are encouraged, not necessarily like counselors, but people who are like role models in the society. So those are some of the things I'm looking into, and we look at the welfare of the young people who are growing in our community as well. They are coming up, and sometimes they don't have where to lean. So we have to create that youth welfare, so that they have somewhere they can come and lean, and like they get that support they need, instead of just leaving our young ones in the community, in the society, so that they get so many advice. So it is only better for us to create that advice before they go out. So that's welfare in growth that I'm looking at.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Andrew, can you hear me now? Andrew, hello. I can't hear you. Wow. So we'll get to bring back Andrew as well as we continue. Dennis, the issue of students, of course, Vincent had mentioned in regards to students. We have a lot of students coming into Western Australia, here in Kama, here in, here out. We haven't had a day whereby we get to know how many students we get every day, what is their welfare, what are they doing, how are we going to reach them, how it is affecting them. What will you do to these students when they land here in Western Australia? How would you know how many students we have? And of course, what will be the support that KCWA will be offering to students? 20 years you've been here. What made you want to be the president as from this Sunday?
So students, I like to call the students the forgotten lot. The reason I say that is I think over time, KCWA has evolved to become an organization that is basically run by people that are no longer students, right? I remember back in, as I mentioned, I was a student leader. So back in 2004, we actually had plans of buying a van so we can be picking up students from the airport. Remember, there was no Facebook, no WhatsApp, and whatever we've got nowadays. So some people would get to the airport and they get stuck. They don't know where they're going. So I remember back those days, we actually had structures in place. People would come here. We were not as a big number like we are right now. So of course, people would come here, and if you don't have a place to stay, I remember I met a young guy called Mwangi one time. We met him at Backpackers in the city, and we said, look, boss, you can't be staying in the Backpackers when we have a spare room. So come stay with us. So we had that kind of community spirit. So you're asking me about students. I'm not gonna pretend that I know what the students go through, because I've gone through the process of being a student, the permanent residence and all that. So the advantage of working with a team is actually having somebody that understands, like what I called in my manifesto, having people manning different booths, right? So you have somebody manning the student booth. You have somebody manning the men, women, or children's booth. Huh? So basically, we would need, like I know, for example, in the outgoing executive team, the student leader, Alison, we worked with her during the COVID-19 task force.
Yep.
And she was very good in getting through and talking to the students and, bringing them on board, connecting with them. Some of us were sitting there and just wondering, where do we even get these students? So to answer you, you as a leader, you're not going to have all the answers, but that's the advantage of having a team that you can work together to actually get the team somewhere where, at the end of the day, it will be beneficial for the community. You did ask me, why now? Why do I want to be president of the Kenyan community? As I mentioned, I've served in the different leadership roles in both within the community setup and at some point I was actually the operations manager for a mining company running operations both in Asia Pacific, Australia, Asia Pacific. So that really built my, or rather, that's where I sort of basically got better with my leadership skills. So why do I think I have the skills to lead the Kenyan community? It's because I've done it. There are results out there. They can speak for themselves. There are people that can, I'm sure, can point out the things that I've done. I believe the Kenyan community is a sleeping giant, and it's an organization that should and will benefit all of us as a Kenyan community. I don't want my son, who is 8 years old, to when they finish uni, which it's not long from now, then they will be wondering what happened. The Italians came here back in the 40s. Do you know what they were doing? The Italians came here as laborers, bricklayers. Kenyans, we are professionals. You ask Andrew is nurse. People do professional jobs here, earning good money, and of course that means these are people. All of us come here. Most of us are students going to uni, so we've got all the skills that I think we should be doing better than most of the immigrants that came back in the 40s or the 50s. Like I said, the Vietnamese, they came here as refugees.
Quick one, Dennis.
They've got,
what made you now want to be president?
What made me want to be president? Because, like I said, I see the opportunities that we've got, and I believe I've got a skill on how to achieve those opportunities. So absolutely, I'm offering myself to be able to tap into these opportunities. I did, like I said, I did help set up KCWA. For those that know KCWA, of course, I'm not going to take credit for everything that KCWA has done, but myself and others were involved in the inception side of it. We know where it is. Some of us are members of that organization. Look, like I said, I work with teams, and I believe my skill in bringing people together should be able to help us tap into the opportunities that this sleeping giant can actually achieve.
Talking of KCWA, it seems that your leadership there was short-lived, or just a quick one. What might have happened, or if you can just quickly expound.
I'm not sure what you mean by short-lived, because I was a president for 2 years. Chairman at the time, we hadn't graduated to calling the leader the president. So I wasn't short-lived. I served 2 years of my term at KCWA. One thing that you learn quickly when you serve as a community leader is you burn out after a while, right? So you need to sort of take a bit of a break, correct? I've had that break. I haven't been a community leader for the last 3 or 4 years. So I'm not sure what you mean by short-lived, because there was an election. I handed over the leadership to the current president. In fact, at the moment, the last 2 or 3 elections, I was actually the returning officer for KCWA. So I still get tapped by the leadership of Kitwe. I was involved in sort of helping draft a new constitution for Kitwe. Kitwe is going to be doing their election in the next, I think we're supposed to do it in August, and I'm actually part of the team that is actually helping them come up with a process for the election. So it's not short-lived. You're not there forever to lead a community. You're there, then you hand over to the next person because you run out of ideas as well, and basically you need somebody to build on those ideas. And that Kitwek is a perfect example of what has happened.
Quick one, of course, thank you for clarifying that you came in, you've been president for 2 years for Kitwek community, you still work for Kitwek, and of course you still engage with Kitwek, because there was word out there stating that you are not actually welcome in Kitwek anymore because of whatever reasons I don't understand. You might be able to clear that, or it's enough what you've said. Miwa, Vincent Kanyangi, Miwa, what is Miwa and what is your take when you become the president of KCWA with the small communities? Oh, sorry.
Anna?
Yes, yeah.
Mulembe people in Western Australia.
Mm-hmm. So Mulembe people in Western Australia.
Mulembe people in Western Australia.
Yeah.
Mulembe, as you know, it's peace. So yeah, that's our child that was just born the other day. So we are still coming up, and we are coming really fast. So why KCWA president?
Mm-hmm.
Just the way I told you earlier, I am very passionate about the community. I am a lover of persons, a very philanthropic. I just love people. And I have worked for the community, and I have worked in the community. What I've seen, I haven't been here for so long. I've only been here for close to 6 years now. And what I've seen, there is a gap in leadership of KCWA. There is a massive gap. I want to talk about gender, because I want to believe in gender justice. Sorry. I want to talk about gender justice. I want to look at gender justice in KCWA, so that we get equal opportunity. Not necessarily equal, but just opportunity, so that when there is someone, for example, a lady who is unable to get into leadership because of so and so obstacles, and yet men can just get into leadership because they can overcome those obstacles, what do? We have to remove these obstacles for the ladies so that they can participate in leadership. I have seen for the few years I've been here, I've seen that happen, that there are ladies that feel intimidated when it comes to leadership, and we have a few instances where they have had to quit, or they don't want to put up their hand for leadership because, this happened and this week this might happen. So those are the things I'm looking at. I'm looking at creating and developing cohesion and friendship. This is something that's lacking in KCWA on the community side. Look at the Kenyans. Yes, I'm coming to that. The cohesion that we need, how to achieve that is to bring transparency. If I'm given that chance to be the leader and the president of KCWA, I'll bring transparency in leadership. I'll bring inclusion, that the members' voice will be heard. Even the minority person in the community will be heard, even if the majority will have their way. Everyone will be heard, and whatever decision we make, it will be communicated. That is what is lacking in KCWA, and there's no communication, there's no clarity what's happening. So that is what I'm bringing. I'm bringing some kind of discipline. There is no discipline such that the leaders can do whatever they want, and they don't care. So I want to bring that discipline, that we are not serving ourselves, we're serving the community. We're volunteering to serve the community, and when you serve the community voluntarily, you have to give them. Don't take away from them. They don't take away their right of voting. Don't take away their right of participation. Don't take away their right to information. That is the gaps I'm seeing. I'm looking at that, and I'm coming as a servant leadership. I'm just coming as a person who is ready to give, not necessarily to receive from them, because they are the larger community wants to get, not to give, because we are here to create an environment where everyone belongs somewhere. We have this KCWA as an umbrella group. We have other sub community groups. I don't want to. There are some people labeling them.
If you want me to do voice,
there are some people who are labeling that the sub.
You just need to tell me where
the sub community some names that that tribe and all that. They're not tribal. They are sub communities. And the way I'm coming in, Alfred, I'm coming to bring the leaders of this community.
30 seconds, huh?
Yes, yeah, make it two. I'll bring these leaders together, so that because they represent people, and I will be the president of KCWA, the large umbrella. I bring them together so that we work a way of helping people together. Because after all, these are all Kenyans, and nobody is more Kenyan than the other. Treating people with respect is the best thing you can do in life. Because when I treat you with respect, I'll receive respect. That is what I'm bringing in the leadership. I'm not coming to chase stamp or to fight anybody.
Before we mentioned, or before we go on to the constitution, the board, and of course you've mentioned that you want everyone to be heard. We know what is happening currently. Someone said on the comment section that is Kipchirchir Koske. I noticed that the leadership list that is there has no sports and children's department. What is the plan for the new group? Are you able to create this docket? And of course, what is the game plan for you guys for the children and sports department? Someone also say we need more women in leadership. Joanne is asking that we need more women in leadership. You did mention about women, but of course the other day we were given opportunity for nomination. There were quite just a handful of women that were nominated. What might have been the case? And of course, if you can be able to answer the one that have been asked by also Kipchirchir Kosgei on the Department of Children and Sports. I'll give that to Dennis. As before Dennis, Andrew, can you hear us? Andrew? Unatusikia? But tukuski. Hello? Dennis.
Hear you perfect.
Children and Women Department.
Yep. Now,
Dennis.
Yes. Okay. So children and just reading that question there, children and sports departments. So as I mentioned, and as I think I put that in the manifesto as well, that we will have different people manning the different booths, as I like to call. One of those is children's department. Children, we know children are our future. So I remember Kitwick, the sports athletics, the first one that we did in Belmont. I took my daughter, who was 3 or 4 at the time. She did not actually participate much in the sports, but she was given a ribbon that they were giving kids. And up to today, she values that ribbon because she always asking, when are we going to be doing a similar thing? So to me, that's just taught me that the way you mold these kids is the way they go, right? So in involving our kids in such activities, we took them again to the Jumbo Africa, and my daughter can't stop talking about when we will go to Jumbo Africa again. That's such an African event. Look, the more we do the Kenyan events, I would like to have my kids go listen to, you know, when we were in high school, we had all these Mulembe dances and Mulembe songs. I was telling Lucita that the other day. It's something that we grew up with. It's something that I would like my kids to identify with the Kenyan culture generally. If I can, when I grow old, or my kids grow older rather, and they can speak Swahili. There is a Swahili school here that, as you know, was set up by Kitwe, but right now is open to all the Kenyans. And I will encourage all the parents to take their kids to the Swahili school. If I can get my kids to speak Swahili, because I struggle at home to teach them Swahili, and if I can get them to learn Kalenjin culture and tradition, I would have done my job as a parent. So some of these community groups are the ones that will help us mold our kids into the future. Sports is the best way to actually bring kids together. These kids get to play together. We had another athletics event probably about a month ago now, if I remember right, and we had all the kids come and enjoy. You know, they were going wild there, and you know, I think us as parents and friends, we couldn't be happier. So to answer you in simple terms, having a booth for each department. Currently, KCWA has a lot of roles, I think 23 in total. Some of them not well defined, and the reason for that is we are still using a very old constitution from 2004, when things, like I said, there was no Facebook.
We will come back to the constitution. We only have about 15 to 20 minutes. I'll give an opportunity to Vincent in regards to sports, the children department, and of course women, and then we will come back on the constitution and the board.
All right, thanks, Alfred. As I've mentioned earlier about the children and the youth, if I am elected the president and I'm given that opportunity to serve as a leader of KCWA, the children needs where they can grow. They need a platform to grow. They need an environment to grow. And some of the things I am coming with the team that we will have to look into the talent promotion, because we have so much talent in our youth and in our children. So talent promotion, whatever talent the kids have, we will have that department so that there is a group of persons following up on the youth and the young people who are coming up, who are growing. What kind of the talents that can be tapped in? How can we promote them? How can we advise the parents of these young people because we cannot just leave them to go in one path. Yes, sports is the best activity to bring people together, but not everyone can go into sports. We can have that sports as recreation, as the way to bring the families together and the children to have fun and just mingle. But now we have to follow that. If a kid is good in music, you will not put them on the track, on the field to play soccer. Let them do that. So we will have that department that we can be able to advise and tap into the things that in community. We have so many activities happening in the community. We have events happening, that music school and all that. So if we can just identify and coming together as the community, that is when you look at the kids and you know, oh, these are the people we need to nurture this way, and these are the kids we need to nurture this way, so that when these guys, the young people, come up and they grow, we'll have so many diverse talents coming up, and the community will grow. Another thing,
so
about the young.
That one is currently not within the leadership that has been nominated. So your take is you're gonna nominate someone, or what will be your campaign?
I will task when we get to the office, we'll look at the departments that are all put down there. We'll look at them and see which department can handle this, because we have 3 welfare positions, and some of those positions we can incorporate these things. And to come up to say something that was before you cut me short. The young people, the teenagers that are coming up, we have a challenge everywhere in the world. We have the people and young people getting into drugs. We have to think about that. And these young people, they are prone to getting into drugs if we leave them to make uninformed decisions. How do we do that? We leave them to do their own stuff. We don't mentor them. We don't bring people who these guys can look up to. When we have a very busy schedule here, you know, everyone is so busy. But when we have those people who, we have that department that we every now and then we have an activity together with the youth, and we identify people who this youth can come up and talk to them freely and look up and say, look, I want to be like Alfred. I want to be like, so they can talk to Alfred, and if there's any challenge in society, they are involved in things that are not good, you can be able to see and advise them accordingly that this is not the way to go. Let us do the right thing. And most importantly, I will encourage our members to bring up their children in a spiritual life.
Wow,
and which is very important.
Amen. So quite a number of people are, of course, saying Dennis, Team Lucite. I'll read the comments later on who are following Kipchirchir Koskese. Thank you so much, Vincent, for speaking out the talent and promotion. KCWA Sports Department will motivate our kids to showcase their abilities. Richie Roger would love to see a woman or women up too, but Lucita has spoken well. Naomi on DXI Sports is a unifying factor. It is very important. Joan Mutinda say, I agree with Swahili, but not tribal classes or lessons. Also, someone Kipto Arabrono say community roles are not paid up roles. Once you finish your term, you pave way for other upcoming young leadership to take the roles. Bishop Kongai say, I truly agree with you. Leaders ought to learn that leadership is like a relay. You don't stick to the baton. You got to pass on to the next generation. Julio Diri says that it is a volunteer leadership. I think he's replying to someone else that you have to pass it on as well. That is what she's saying. The constitution, and of course it is long overdue. Of course the board also isn't recognizing the constitution. We currently have a board. Everyone is crying fault of the board and everyone is talking about the board. When you come in, what is your first priority, the constitution or the board, or will you incorporate all? I'll give that opportunity to Dennis.
Sorry, what was the question again, Alfred?
We are operating on an old constitution. The community is confused. Are we on the constitution? Are we on the model rules? What year was this reviewed? What is happening? You know, it's all about an old constitution. No one knows where we are at in regards to this. I don't know, tuko na BBI ama ni namna gani? And of course, the board isn't recognized in the constitution. Members are complaining about the same board. You know, the board aren't saying anything. We have issues currently in the community. The board are silent. They're not saying anything. What is your take?
Yeah, so currently, as far as I'm concerned, we're still using what is called the 2004 model of rules, which is the very first constitution that was created for the Kenyan community in Western Australia. In 2016, as I understand, the department basically passed an act of parliament to just basically streamline the Associations Act, and that's basically to have issues like conflict resolution process and other things to help the association. That's when they came up with what is called the model rules. Model rules basically is a constitution that if we decide today to set up an organization, we just need the name of the organization, the officials, that acts as a constitution, the minutes, and basically there we are. We have a constitution, right? We are not using that as far as I know again, but that is for the to clarify. But of course, once elected to office, then we should be able to have access to whatever documentation KCWA has to clarify that. So the confusing part with the 2004 model of rules is it doesn't meet certain standards. So, for example, I know in an election you need 75% quorum to have an AGM. Those are some things that can be a bit more complicated, and I guess that's what the model rules try to clarify. You talked about the board. So the board was not recognized, has never been recognized by the Constitution, as far as I'm concerned. And they're not recognized as we speak in the Constitution. So basically, the only way you can have a board is the executive agree and basically have a meeting, minuted meeting, to say that we are being so and so to be whatever we want. So that's one thing that the executive team has once elected into office. So, for example, if we don't get all the 23 positions filled on Sunday, then the team that is elected can basically come together, have a minuted meeting, and decide on the individuals that might want to be part of the executive to be put in to the executive. The other thing that they can do is come up with another team, like the board. As far as I know, that has not happened. So the board is basically not constitutional as we speak. So
Dennis, what you mean is the people who would be elected on Sunday, if we don't get the threshold on that day, the people who would have been elected can bring some members on board, but they cannot make them the board. Is that right?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the executive basically can decide to create a board, right? Mm-hmm. So
and then if they decide and it's not in the Constitution, on what rules, what basis will they be operating on?
Okay, so there's a difference here. So there is the Constitution, which basically, like right now, we have in the Constitution that we have a president, we have a vice president, we have a treasurer, right? So when we go to the election, we have to elect a president, we have to elect a treasurer, we have to elect all those positions. That is in the Constitution. So that position has to exist. What I'm talking about is the executive actually creating positions. So it would be unique to that term of office, right?
Yes.
So we can decide, or that team can decide we want. So, like for example, the way we although this was done by the members, we have a constitution task force, we have an election task force. The executive can also create such groups, right? It would only be for the term of office that executive is in office. So basically, as of Sunday, what would happen is if that executive, whatever team is elected, decides they want the board, they can then decide to sit and have the board, right? If they don't want the board, so the executive has that power, is what I'm saying. That is the only way you can have the board. But
I think I've got you. Now we have a board. It's been sitting there for 20 years. What happened? Why have they not? Why has all these other teams coming in? How super are they? They haven't been gotten rid of, and you're talking about bringing another board, and we have another existing board. If you win today as the president, what would you do to the existing board?
If I win today as a president, my first thing I'll do is I will make sure that the executive gets down to business. That is a team that is elected by the people. Mm-hmm. The board issue would be left to as you know, we have a constitution review task force. So the board issue would be left to the Constitution Review Task Force. What I would hope the review task force would do is come up with recommendations that then all members will review. If members decides to vote on having a board, then so be it. If members feel like the board shouldn't be a part, or if they decide to have a board in a different format as it is now, then it's the members to decide. So right now, the board is an issue that we shouldn't be discussing. We should leave that to the Constitution Review team to actually come up with suggestions on what, because I believe there will be collective views from members. So, and then from there, we can get something that will be acceptable to all of us, basically.
Yeah. I'll give an opportunity to Vincent, but I'm trying to call Kachila directly if he can be able to pick and try to reach him on phone. Can you hear me, Andrew?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear Andrew from that side?
Yes, we can.
Anyone on the comment section, can you hear Andrew? Speak on, Andrew.
Yeah.
So introduce yourself. I think there is a few issues from your end, but we're giving you an opportunity to introduce yourself. Tell us who is Andrew and what's your plan.
Okay. Thanks for working it out that way.
I think we don't know what happened from your end, but it's totally fine.
I don't think it's from my end at all, because it's the same computer that I use for my other communications. Anyway,
yes.
Just a quick one. So my name is Andrew Kachila. Now, just briefly, I hail from Taita County in Kenya. I was born in Nairobi, schooled there for a bit, went to Taita, finished my primary and went back to Nairobi, and on and so on. And so I found myself in Australia.
Yeah.
Shy of 15 years. So I've been here and done quite a number of things, really. One of which is very much in line with the community. Briefly, on a corporate front, I am an insurer. I'm a certified insurance professional. I have worked in management positions of Aon, EBM. I also do pastoral care. I'm part of the Collective Hope. I also set up the NDIS system in Collective Hope. On a personal front, I am a father. I'm a father of two. I'm a husband of one. But I also believe that I have very many sons. I'll clarify on that later. Okay. Currently I do business. Dennis is one of my business partners. We interact quite a bit on the business front, on the disability side of things. I also do mental health nursing. This is something that is very passionate about, mental health, and generally any other health issue. I'm very passionate about that. On the side, also do pastoral care. I believe in God. I believe intimately. I believe in the Bible and everything that it says.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's who I am.
What made you run for president? You've been here quite 15, 20 years. 15
years. Many things. One is having been here for all those number of years. You may know that I've seen things. I've seen things come, things go. I've seen good things. I've also seen things that go really bad. But where if somebody puts in effort, they can actually turn that around. And so it's one thing to look at things go by and not do anything about it. But it's also a leadership kind of a spirit to say, okay, you know what? I have a 50 cent and I can put it in here. If it is going to change one of the 10 things that need to be changed, that is a good outcome. Yeah, so I'm just driven by, community. I believe that we should endeavor to build each other. And I've been doing things with the youth, the young boys and girls. So I head a group called Jenga Dynasty. This is
any dynasty tofauti. Continue.
Jenga. Yeah, this is something that's deeply. I'm very passionate about. If we had a lot of time, I'll tell you a lot. But just briefly, it's about empowering our youth. Just because 10,000 kilometers from home, really it's easy for them to get lost. And I'm talking about the cultural values that we hold as Africans, that we are a child of a community, and all those positive values that we carry from Kenya. So I found that, here, the days that our children are living in are not the same days that we were living in. We had many chances to get it wrong. They have only one chance.
Yes.
And so I was driven to make sure that this doesn't, the one chance that they have at life, they get it right. So I run a thing with the girl child. We do a lot of training. This is off school, kind of build them in their capacity as future business people. We have things we do for the boy child. We have a project coming up, which is in the heart of very many fathers in WA. We want to do an initiation kind of a program to bring our boys, make them men, because this is something that all the communities in Africa or in Kenya specifically, we do that. We have a stage in our lives where we are now ushered into manhood, and that entails a series of steps. But now being so far away, and with all these travel issues, we honestly are not going to imagine that we are going to take our kids back to Kenya for them to undertake this kind of a process. So what does that mean? It means we can do it here. So we're coming up with a program later in the year where we will be able to sufficiently run a curriculum and bring our boys up into men. So what that entails is that at the end of that process, we will have boys who will be mentored so well that they will also be mentoring others and making others young to be responsible young men. So these are things I said, if we had a lot of time, I'll tell you about.
So Andrew, mentioning on the mentoring program for the boys and of course the initiation part, the Kenyan community, 10,000 people here, quite a number of people are professionals here. A lot of parents have been visiting as well. The vast and the importance of culture that comes with the old age is here with us currently in Western Australia.
Yes.
We've been here, people like Professor Makinda, people like Kuria Chairman working in Kenya currently, people who are recognized, here and back home. We don't have a community center. What is the problem?
So this is the thing that I'm talking about when I tell you I've seen things come and I've seen things go. I've seen good things happen. So on a positive side, there are quite a number of positive things that have happened. But we have also let opportunities just slip off our fingers. Why? Because we either did not want to fold our sleeves, or two, we thought somebody else will do it. So we don't have a community center. Yes. And when we look around, we see the Croatians have one, the Italians have one, the Greeks have big things. Why aren't we having this? And the funny thing is this, Alfred, is that we have a good way. There's something about a Kenyan. I've sat in interviewing panels, and when somebody walks into an interview and he says, "Oh, I'm from Kenya," unlike any other country from Africa, you see, there's a different kind of air. Like there's an expectation that there will be serious professionalism here. There will be a sense of responsibility. So when you're talking from corporate front, we have all it takes. But when you're talking community, something else happens. There's a dwindling factor there.
But I can also say that I've attended a function, an eventuality happened, Kenyan came in. We actually contributed in a fundraiser $50,000. Can we not fundraise for at least $50,000 as a community and by our own? Is that a possibility? Is that something that you will be able to venture into when you come in as a president, or what's your take on that?
Remarkable. That is one of the things. Fundraising is like, I'll give you an example. In all these things that we are doing with Jenga, right? We have had people say, well, you can apply for grants and do this thing in a big way. It's true, that is just one way. But what we have learned is when you tell Kenyans about a good thing that benefits them, they are so willing to grant their own projects. And as you say, people came and gave in 50,000. That's nothing. Kenyans can do far much more. I was in Kenya when we had a drought in northeastern, and we were told on every supermarket till there was a little thing there about how give for what it was. Do you know they ran out of trucks to carry the food? This is the Kenyan spirit that we should be so proud of, and that one doesn't change. It's everywhere. So if you carry that, because you carry this to your grave, what if you can transform this and move it from being a potential to some kinetic energy, earth-shattering kind of an energy? This is what Kenyans can do. Now, what has been lacking is a catalyst. On one side is what you may call leadership. On the other side is all the negative things like now what we are seeing on KCWA forum. Those kind of things that make people shy away from putting their hands in to do good things. Yeah.
I can see former deputy governor and also the current CEO not Rift Economic Bloc, Dominic Biwott Chebiagan, former deputy governor, Nandi County, following, he said, this is very encouraging and very objective. I love this conversation. Chesa is saying that how long is the presidential term for one if elected? Joan Mutwinda saying all women, we can come together. All women, we we can communicate, we are all enlightened and in touch with the community and current affairs. We left our drives back home, and we also need to, give our best for this community. Those are the people who are following. Before you go, Andrew, and I'll also give an opportunity to the other candidates and aspirants as well. Your take on the Constitution, it's taken long. Before I forget, first of all, there's someone asking, how would you work with the High Commission? Because currently, we actually, as we speak, we don't have, though it hasn't been communicated, but we don't have, what do you call the person that sits with us here representing the High Commission? The consular. We don't have the consular services here in Western Australia. There is a lot of Kenyans. There is issues with the migration. There's issues with the passport. How would you work with the High Commission and bring them on board, and also give Kenyans an opportunity to reach them?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. Now, one thing is, if KCWA gets back to its, intended vibrancy, you don't have to advertise it. People will want to be part of it, okay, including our ambassador. I think, and I'm speaking from a few interactions that I've seen happen, is that he yearns to see that kind of vibrancy. It will just, he will he'll be attracted to that. Now, we need to get KCWA to be vibrant, because in all honesty, KCWA is that Kenyan body of Western Australia. Every other one can achieve successes in one or two things, but the one that achieves wholesome success is KCWA. Get this right. When you get it right, okay. One is, we are living in a very good age. We have an opportunity to create a new thing, a new set of rules, a new guiding constitution, which is a very nice thing, because that constitution then we will use, First of all, we will own it. It's ours. When we own it that way, and this, I encourage Kenyans to get to read what it says. We sometimes do not like reading a lot. Let's get to read what that task force will come up with. When we get that right, it will mark the way we relate to each other. When we get our relationships sorted, we know who does what, where the buck ends. We will get such a healthy association that it is easy to just tell our ambassador, we are meeting on such and such a day, and in one of our agendas is we want your take on 1, 2, 3. And guess what? He will be happy to come. It becomes harder to call him now when we have we are throwing stones in the house. We have all these things that are not going right. So one thing first, let's get our foundation right. Let's get new beginning all sorted, and then we have a voice. We have an attraction.
The Constitution, your take on that? Has been a while. The board, it's not involved in the Constitution, but we have a board at the moment. When you become the president, what would you do with the board that is currently there, and what is your take on the Constitution?
Okay, two things. One is that, yes, there's an enigmatic board that seems to, every time we're having a conversation, it features in our conversation quite negatively. It has affected quite a number of relationships, and I'm sorry for what happened to even our contender, Dennis. And you can somehow accredit it directly or indirectly to this board. Now, the thing with this board, to me, is what exactly does it do? How does it resolve issues? And how does it take us forward? Do we actually need one? So these are quite good questions to ask. So when we are doing our constitution, if we feel that we need a position of a board, then it has to be defined. What is their tenure? What are the KPIs? Who will make it in that board? Why and how? So what's their tenure office, for instance? How do they come out? So all these questions need to be answered, and it should be clear. It should not be something that we have to dig in and we have to call names for that to happen. So first of all, we need to know, what does it do and why is it important? Who gets it there and what does that person do? When do we think they have failed? Like now, do we have a board which is a success, or do we have a board which is a failure? Can we actually say so-and-so in that board flopped? And so how do we get them out? So these are questions I have like any other Kenyan. People say it's easy for me to throw stones when I'm outside. Maybe when I get in there, it will be different. What I'm saying is this is my promise to you. I want us to have an organization that we love. So we get the rules right. If we feel we need a board, we have to define it right. Get it it right, and it will be a nice thing. It will be something that even the guys that we are bringing up will tell them, you know what, tomorrow you have to be a member of KCWA and you have to be a volunteer of the things that they do. And then you can be an executive because you have amassed quite a lot of experience. And then you can be a board member. And then you can step out. And it's a nice kind of a, you know, something to yearn for. Right now, Alfred,
yes.
I don't know. It's a negative thing. It features quite negatively in all conversations about KCWA, and somehow you can feel that either they could have done something to help and they didn't, or they did something wrong and failed us.
They are currently there, and the issues are there. What exactly is their role, and how would you deal with the current board before incorporating a new one?
So how do we deal with it? Because we are coming in as a new executive.
But
I want us to be quite as fresh.
There will be, or there would not be anyone when you come in.
So we'll find out. I want us the team that we are going to pick, the team that is going to go in with me. We have to be quite intelligent about things. We are going to find out who these people are, what's their tenure, and then because there's a task force that is creating a constitution. I want us to renew their mandate. Okay, I don't know, because when we are coming to an election, what does that mean legally? Does the term of a task force end? So that when a new team comes, then they have to be. So I want them to continue so that we can see what it is that they've been working on.
Because there's someone called Patrick asking that, what is Kachila's opinion on the constitutional board? My
personal opinion is just one person out of the 10,000. Okay, it will be just my personal opinion. I actually think that yes, when we have an executive, that is very good. Now, do we need someone on top of the executive to just be on advisory level, or to be somebody that links us to maybe a ministry or something? Maybe we do. But then we have to define what that person does, so that when they fail, we can actually tell them, look, this is why we employed you and you have flopped. And so this is the route for you out. And this is how we're going to recruit another person. I don't want it to be an enigmatic thing that, you know, people somewhere sit and decide who. It's right now, it's shrouded in a lot of mystery. Yeah. Absolutely. So how I'll deal with it is I will say this: let's all get to that constitution, read what the team comes up with, put your views in before we say yes to this constitution. Make sure you are aware of what each position does. Yes.
Thank you. I'll leave you on. I'll give an opportunity to one of the guys, and then we'll come back. You will tell us how would you bring on board, because you didn't get a chance, the 10,000 Kenyans who are in Western Australia to join into the KCWA. Okay. So, Lucite, I'll give you an opportunity. 2 minutes. Explain to us about the board and the constitution. How are you going to handle this?
Well, on 21st March, we voted in, rather we selected a task force to look into matters election and constitution. So our constitution, I want to believe this task force is still working. I want to believe that. And if it is still working, when I get in the office, I expect something will be on the table. Then we can present to the members to look into that. Then as the sooner we get the new constitution, the better. Because I have read the 2004 constitution, and I want to tell you, one, there is no, what do we call it? A good mechanism on conflict resolution. And probably that is why the purported board came in. The members, the Kenyans who came in as the board, probably that's how they came in themselves. So when you look at these things called, something called board, it is not in the constitution as we speak. It is something that is not even recognized anywhere even. So in my opinion, we shouldn't even be talking about the board because it's not there. It's not in the constitution. We only have maybe members of goodwill who came up and say, oh, let's help here, let's help. But going forward, I want to talk about incorporating a board in the constitution. If the members say that really we need the board, yet, the members should have it because it's their constitution. But in my own opinion, when we elect the officials, the KCWA officials, the president and all the committee members, we are electing people to represent 10,000 Kenyans in WA. We are electing people who should represent us to the High Commission, to the Western Australia government, to the consulate, or even to the Kenyan government, or back at home, or whatever kind of representation we're looking at. We are looking at the elected leaders to do that. So when we have another body, it's kind of like an oversight. I don't know really what their job is, but if we have that, there's an interference of duties. There will be collision, there will be friction. So in my opinion, if we are having advisory board, we should say this is their role and this is their limitations, so that we don't have people who are controlling the executive, or we have the executive which is out of control. You get what I'm saying? So we should have a very clear line that this is how far the advisory board, if we enact it, this is how far the advisory board should come, and this is how far the committee, the executive should go. So all the powers lies with the members, but as of now, there's no vote.
But we got 10 minutes to go. It's getting to midnight. People go to sleep. Tomorrow is school for everyone else. Quick one. Someone called Eric Rui. Thank you, leaders, for presenting yourselves. Can I please ask? We have issues to first sort out in the organization. In addition, we have been offered ambitious goals that need to be delivered in 12 months. Can you please let us know what structures you have put in place to address the internal issues and the goals in 12 months? Some of these goals are ambitious and full time as opposed to voluntary given the time frame. What resources have you have they put in place, including their personal time, to see these tasks fulfilled within their tenure? So that is one quick one from a concerned member. This is 12 months. There's quite a number of things to address, and you have your own time as well with family, with job and everything. How would we be able to juggle between all those? And of course, before I finish or call it off, I would give an opportunity to every one of you to tell us, buombe kura ndawapatia mtupatia sasa ile, maybe kuna kitu tumesahau you want to share, maybe we haven't asked you. That is an opportunity. I'll give everyone 2 minutes to answer what Eric has said and put on your point of view on everything that we've been discussing and buombe kura on Sunday. But before then, I'll give Andrew an opportunity to tell us how he's going to bring all the 10,000 Kenyans to join into the group, because we have quite an handful at the moment. So we would want to see all Kenyans that are living in Western Australia come on board. Eric, Andrew, can you hear me? Hello?
You can hear me, right?
Yes. So how would you bring on board all the Kenyans in Western Australia?
Okay, so just to answer that question with a bit of a background, is first of all, we need to make KCWA attractive. If we make it attractive, then easily people will want to gravitate towards it. Now, I know 12 months is quite a short time. And my take on this is this, that at this stage, when we are coming to a newness of something, my 3 things that I want to do is, first of all, I want to set the sails that we are moving now, and then point us in the right direction. Where are we going? And then cast a vision, 5, 10, 20 years down the road. So that in those 12 months, if I set out, say, 10 things, I do 2, I've already set in motion. So the next team that comes in, we know what other 8 points are there to cover as we go towards achieving our vision. Now, let's look at setting the sail. What it means to me is 2 things. One is, first of all, I will talk to people. This is something that I'm quite gifted at. I thank God for that. I will talk to people and ask them for what it is that they want. It's easy to imagine that people want, hot water.
Mm-hmm.
That may not be top on their priorities. That is just you and your view. So I want to talk to people and get it from them. What exactly do they want KCWA to be? Now, the number 2 job, which is quite hard, and I consider that to be one that will take all my leadership skills in place, is how am I going to take what you aspire for KCWA, cast it 5, 10, 20 years down the road, and create an enthusiasm that is so infectious that the team that has been appointed can replicate the same enthusiasm and set in motion, steps to achieving that goal. This is harder, and this is what I want to do. And we'll do this very quickly. We intend to just hit the ground running. Okay. So now, when you get these things going, there will be attraction. There will be an energy here. This is what we will use to ideally market our KCWA to new members. Now, it's a number of initiatives that I can think of. But as I said, I like working from a community backwards. I'll get the views of everybody else. On my opinion, there are quite a number of creative endeavors that we can do, without too much resource. One is marathon. We Kenyans, we are renowned for that. And the whole world, knows Kenya to be marathon runners. So can we do a marathon charity run? Well, we can do this. And you, Alfred, I know you'll be very instrumental in this. You'll help us set this up. What it does is it does corporate social responsibility. It makes us a very good citizen. And then it shows Australians that, we are here and we are serious people. So that is one of the creative endeavors that we can do. The other thing is, I'm speaking here as a pastoral ambassador, is having, like a prayer breakfast where you meet a number of members and you pray about issues. God answers these prayers. He will tell us how to tackle those prayers. Another one where you don't really have to reinvent the wheel is the gala dinner that we do. But put some color to it. Make it an event that is maybe 3 days long, where you have a cultural week, where each one of these, cultural organizations that we have, associations that we have, can showcase what it is to be, let's say, from Turkana, or to be from Rift Valley, or to be from the coast. And then you culminate it with a gala night, So those are some of the creative endeavors that can make KCWA to be a very vibrant, attractive unit that makes it easier now to attract membership.
Or give the opportunity to the small communities to come and present what they have from their communities, courtesy of KCWA.
You're speaking my language. Yeah. So we have a number of creative things that we can do, honestly. And this can now have a ripple effect in the sense that people will know us for a good thing. And now we have, like the way we have a lot of organizations that have come up from ethnic groups. Easily, those ones can become negative if we don't give them a vision. But when you have a vision, you look at them as culture. And culture is rich. It is something that we should be proud of.
And of course,
so you give these organizations a corporate identity and a KCWA in one way or another, and you have an attractive association. Wow. So that's how I look at membership, from making KCWA attractive.
Thank you. I'll come and give you 2 minutes to wrap up, but I'll give an opportunity to Vincent. 2 minutes. Anything that we've forgotten that you wish to say, and Aomba Kura sasa.
I'm muted. I want to say this. I'm coming in this KCWA as a servant leader, a person who is bringing in warmth and friendship. There's so much discord, and I want to bring in cohesion. I want to listen to the members. I want to listen to them, even though I may say I know what the members want. I want to listen to them, to be able to give everyone a platform to talk about what they really would like to get from the leadership or from KCWA itself. I want to bring in a team. I would like to bring in a spiritual team, a pastoral team that everyone can run to when they have the spiritual matters, they want to talk about spiritual matters, and we need to have that team. It's like a sub-department that we can have, and which is even easier when we have any misunderstanding, we can even talk to. I want to bring some kind of discipline and respect in the leadership. And I want to tell you, 12 months is not a long time, and it's not long, and still it's long. I want to say that.
Would you be able to change the constitution to run for 2 years?
I'm not the one who is going to change the constitution. I think the members are in charge. And even if I go for 6 months, I'm telling you, I promise the members, the KCWA members, that I am going to bring a very different leadership that they've never seen. I'm going to bring sanity and a leadership that they've been yearning for. I will bring in some kind of a listening ear, and I will have someone who is even able to talk to members. When the members ask questions, we will have like a communication department that no member will ask a question and you go and answer it for 2 hours. At least if we do not have an answer, I'll say, wait, I'll consult and to come back to you. But we will listen and act and talk to members. No one is going to say that the leadership is silent. We're going to bring women on board. We're going to convince the women to come and be in leadership or to participate in leadership, because they are shying off that platform because they feel it's too much pressure. But we want to bring that. We want to bring a program or a help desk or a welfare that will help people with mental illness, because it is coming in the society because of the stress we have in the society. People are suffering from.
How would you achieve this?
We have the mental illness starts when someone has no one to talk to. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing. Someone will break down from that area. But when someone is having that issue of mental breakdown, when they have someone to come to and talk to, it will be manageable. But going forward, we have so many avenues of like even connecting to. We have so many people, the counselors and all that, we can even refer them to when something is just beyond our reach. Those are the avenues that we will create so that members feel connected to the other world, that we will connect them to the other. We are going to embrace technology. This era is about technology, and we're moving very fast. There's no way a member can pay their membership, and then they want to wait for someone to sit down to ratify the membership. When you pay for your membership, we receive the money, you are a member. Any person who steps in WA, whether they are visiting or they are transiting, they are members of KCWA. It's about Kenyans in Western Australia. It's not about anything else. So when you pay, you become a voting member. Otherwise, everyone is a member of KCWA, and that should be treated with utmost respect, and nobody should be denied membership at all, whether they are criminals or they are saints. They're all Kenyans.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dennis, how would you achieve your manifesto? And of course, again, how would you be able to run smooth?
First of all, I think I'd just like to point out something very important. In its 18 years of existence, KCWA has never had such an interest in its leadership positions.
Someone actually is commenting, this is history in the making.
Yeah, it is history in the making. History has been made, so that is a good thing. It means people are engaged. It means people want change. It means people love this association, right? So I think the best thing that we need to take from that is basically to realize that the fact that people are engaged is to keep them engaged. We have, as I think I mentioned in my manifesto as well, that I'm a technology person, right? So there's a lot of ways we can harness technology to actually build the association. One main thing that is lacking in KCWA, and by the way, KCWA in all its failings has had a lot of successes. For example, Andrew mentioned the gala. The gala is such a success. It started back in 2004. We know KCWA, especially the executive and I guess the members, they come together every time we have bereavement or we have issues in the community. So like I said, KCWA has had a lot of successes as well. So we need to build on that. One thing that I agree with Lucita as well there is, and a lot of people have commented on this, is the communication side of KCWA. There is a lot of good things that are happening, but because members don't get the right communication, or nothing happens, you ask questions, no one answers. It seems like nothing is happening, but there's some things that are happening. Maybe not as much as we would like it to, but yeah, there is some things happening. So improving on that communication, and again, harnessing and using technology. One of the failings that KCWA has as well at the moment is tracking members. So as you've seen, for example, the KCWA WhatsApp group, I know for a fact there's a lot of paid members that are not in that group. Why? Because maybe the data is not up to date. We use what is called Zero at the moment to track members in KCWA. Zero is an accounting software. It's for payroll. You use that to pay people. You don't use that to track members. It's not a CRM. So, it's a customer relations management system. So basically, using technology will ease and, make the burden a bit, smaller for us to manage. The things I've put in my manifesto, I think I did mention that I've got some things that are 20 years, or even we are hoping this association will be there 100 years from now. One of the things that we I plan to do with my team is basically set up a strategy team. These are the people that will be, their job is basically to look at 20 years, 5, 20, 10, 15, 20 years from now. They're not going to be talking about the everyday. They're not going to be talking about how we're going to be planning the ball for December, right? They're going to be talking about where are we going to have an aged care facility that is managed by the Kenyan community. We sit here and most of us just say...
Currently, talking of the management and all those, we don't have a research and development sector in the new roles. How will you be achieving that yet?
Look, I think I tried to touch on that before, and I said the current constitution, the roles that we've got that are being elected, there's 23 roles, right? Not all of them, a lot of them are obsolete, if you ask me. But like I said, this is a constitution that was done in 2004. It worked then. We got to, I think you're talking about somebody, you're talking about the board. And one of the things that we got to do is we got to follow the law of the land, right? The law of the land at the moment stipulates that our constitution is what we've got. So we'll elect these members. Doesn't mean that if I say you're the president, you're not going to be, helping organize the board. It doesn't mean you're not going to be helping with research and development, for example. So the teams that we've got 23 people. 23 is a lot. That 23, we can fill that committee. We can completely have 23 people volunteering their time. We should be able to have 23 people manning the different booths.
40 seconds. Omba Kura.
Yes, so I believe I've got what it takes to change, to bring about change in the Kenyan Community Association. I've been involved, as I said, with the organization since its inception. Basically, I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a community leader. I would like to see us. I know other communities that have achieved way more. Even the OAC was started after Kenyan community. They now have so many community centers. Why not us? I believe I've got the know-how. I've done that. I've worked in other associations in community leadership and private businesses as well, as I mentioned. So I've got what it takes to actually bring prosperity in the association. So I would ask you to come in on Sunday from Win Hub. It's from 2 to 5 p.m. Come and vote me in and my team. And I promise I will do my best working with my team and working with all of you to achieve what I've put in that constitution. I want you to hold me responsible if I don't. Thank you.
Wow, that is powerful. All the very best. Andrew, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, buddy.
Someone first said, Kiblagat Emmanuel said, Kachila should be a board member, not a president. President come and go. That guy is very valuable. I'm in Kenya, and I wish one day to be in Australia. I wish him the very best.
Thank you very
There's
much.
someone also asking here, saying that KCWA, what was it initial plan? What was the initial, actually is saying that, what was the initial driving force for KCWA, and is it still driving into, or is it still on course?
Okay.
As you prepare to answer that, I'll also give you an opportunity to answer or give us anything that we might have missed that you would want to put it across, and of course give you 2 minutes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Alfred. Yeah, and thank you for those comments. I love them. Problem is we are going to be
kura Kenya, sijui tutaleta aje.
a constitution which will draw such laws that how do we have someone for life and how do we have a tenure?
Yes.
Yeah. But the good thing is that we must be getting something right. Something right must be happening. We must be having a favor from God at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Something is blowing, which is good. Look, it has dragged Dennis, who was asleep for what, 10 years,
mm-hmm.
and now he's interested. You know, you're doing something right. We're having how many contenders for a seat? This is good, guys. This is good. That's why I'm insisting that, this is the time to really be in KCWA. Now, my job is not to take all the problems here and solve them or fix them. Rather, it's to work with everyone in the community, mobilize and guide that facilitate solutions for the long-term betterment of our community.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's an intricate balancing here that I will have to do. And the good thing is I've done it before. I'm running organizations, but on a very corporate kind of level. So with voluntary dynamics, it's slightly different. But the objective, as somebody has asked, should be there. Now, what is the objective of KCWA? I believe is to better our community. And we can do so many things, we can do to make our lives better here in South Australia. But what is important is you. You who has the vote at home. You're the most important person at this time. We want you in. The Greeks will always say that if you don't participate in voting, then you are a perfect definition of an idiot. Because you can't then turn around and throw stones, and you didn't take part in the making of that government. Now, we need to balance this, the needs. My job will be to keep focused on the work that needs to be done so that the group moves forward. Now, community leadership, to me, is about building relationships. Now, what we are lucky about the Kenyan community here in W is we have so many professionals. We have so many that if we put them under one umbrella, that is KCWA, there is really nothing that we can't do. Now, the joy of this, and if I was allowed to have a serious take with the new constitution that we are crafting, is we need these two offices. We need one that is legalist, one that interprets law and puts us on the straight and narrow. And we need another one that I would imagine would call it a public relations office. This will ideally deal with, responding to members' queries in a timely fashion, in a diplomatic way.
Yep.
I had my way. Those two should be in the constitution. But again, this is just an individual opinion. It will just go through the process like everyone else because we are all important.
Yep.
Now, another thing is that in my plan is one thing. I know the tenure is 12 months. But in those 12 months, when we do a good job, one of the jobs should be to mentor other people to take over.
Mm-hmm.
You mentor them by, first of all, being able to transfer your enthusiasm to them.
Yeah.
And then, two, making them believe that, they can achieve. If they achieve 3, that's a success story.
Yeah.
To me, that is very important. So I believe in creating or developing people's capacity for leadership, of course, starting with myself and then creating that self-responsibility. So for those who have positions of leadership, then they must, of course, demonstrate the principles of good leadership by living by example.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing I believe. And okay, say I have an undue advantage being in pastoral care, being a pastor and all that, but no. Everyone should believe that, if you trust in the Lord with all your heart, He will make your path straight. That's what He says. And this is what I believe. If He makes your path straight as an individual, then you are able now to pass that to others as a living example, so to speak. Now, you are
40 seconds. Omba kura.
What I promised to do, what is out there, I've said many things. All I'm asking you is now to trust me. Trust me that we've got this. And because I trust you because you are Kenyans. You guys are intelligent, you are very hardworking. You only need to get your hands dirty. We all get our hands in this thing together. It doesn't matter which position you are in. I'm called president, I'm called chairman. This is just a name. We are all in it together to make it better for us, for our children and their children. And they will leave this place. Maybe we'll go back to Kenya. We want to look back and say, I did the best that I could. This is what I'm asking of you. Trust me, join me, vote for me. We've got this sorted. Amen.
Well, everyone who is here as a member, not a moderator anymore, if you lose, will you be able to work with any of the other aspirants that are running against you?
Okay. So my take is this. I already work in one capacity or another with both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I know Lucite from things that we have run together,
mm-hmm.
things that we have volunteered to do. So I know his volunteering spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And I want it to be on board, honestly. And two, I have a lot of respect for him that he has put his name forward for this thing. It's not an easy thing. We all know that to be in leadership for such a big organization, it's not an easy feat.
Mm-hmm.
You have to balance family, you have to balance career, and yet you want to put in the hours and make this thing better.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for Dennis. His story is one of a kind. And he is my business partner. We have done, and we are still doing things together. So one way or another, we are still joined at the hip. Will I want to work with him? Most definitely, yes. There's things in him, just like there's things in every other Kenyan, that we can draw and make ourselves or make our lives better. So yes, I want to work with either.
Thank you. Lucite.
Yes. Am I on mute or not? Okay. I want to tell you that, Alfred, the target is engaged. The future is us, and we are also the now. So we are just going to build and shape our community, whether in leadership or not. Unity is strength, and the knowledge we get through our diversities, the power that will drive us and all that. So whether I am the president of KCWA or not, I will still work towards ensuring that KCWA is greater and better than ever before.
Thank you.
And that's what I'm still doing. Hang on.
Yep.
Hang on. Don't unmute me. I am doing that even at this moment.
Yep.
Everyone is doing it. We are working towards the prosperity of our community because this is what we've got. We do not have any other. So whether I lose or win, I will support whoever wins, and I'll shake the hands, and whatever input I'll put in, I'll be glad to do so. But let me tell you, this is going to be better. Everyone is going to love it.
Thank you. Dennis.
Yes, look, I want to echo the two gentlemen. They both my really good friends, people that I interact with, as Andrew says. We interact on a personal level as well. So yes, I mean, we're gonna be working together, whether it's within the community or outside the community. Now, the thing about it is, KCWA is, as I mentioned before, is better where it is now, and it's better that we are all engaged. The last thing that I think any of us want to do is walk away when we are where we are. I think these two gentlemen, plus everyone else that has been nominated, and of course the rest of the members, want to see this community succeed. That's why they put up their hands. I agree that if, putting up your hand to lead a community, you're going to sacrifice your family time. You're going to be, I was talking to one of the current officials, and I said to them, look, when somebody has a problem, you guys are the first point of call. Some people just go home, they spend time with their families. You don't get to do that. So you got to respect people that actually put their hand up to lead a community. So these are people that I truly respect, not just Kachila and Andrew, but everyone else that has put up their hand to lead any community. So by all means, look, lose or win, will be engaged with the Kenyan community. I would like to see it grow. I would like to see it succeed. And the only way to do that is actually to be engaged. You have to be in it to win it. So there's no way I can be outside and expect to be a part of the winning team.
Oh, thank you. Thank you to everyone who has been following. I can see Irene Stewart saying, well done, Alfred. Good to hear from all the candidates. All the very best to you all. Joan Mutinda is saying that I've asked, and is saying that cautious ignoring my question. The women really. I think everyone had a chance to answer what the role of the women when you're in office, I guess. Joan, I think that was well answered by all the candidates. Kio said, great discussion, gentlemen. Very pleasant to hear all the participants. Best wishes to you all, and you are all winners. Also, Patrick says, this is the people's patron. Thanks for the 3 aspirants, and well wishes to you all. Best of luck. From me in studio, I wish you all the very best as well on Sunday, and we will come down to vote. And I will also encourage every person watching and those who are, work or wherever they are, sleeping or doing whatever they are on Sunday. Let's come vote in our candidate, and of course, vote in as Kenyans for the betterment of our community here in Western Australia as well. Let us work together for the betterment of every individual, and because the future will actually depend on us. Let us not vote because they are our friends. Let us not because we will benefit out of them, but let us vote because we want a true spirit of Kenyanism that will reflect 20 years later, 50 years later, and of course, where our kids and grandkids will be enjoying. I wish you all the very best and have a very blessed night. Goodbye. See you.
Goodbye. Thanks. Thank you so much, Alfred.
See ya.